This is V.
This is Awesome Sauce.
This is DT.
Lady J.
Excellent effects.
I like that. Today, in honor of it's our spooky Codpast special. We have 2 black cats on the table that are alive.
Cracking some beers.
Cracking some beers, and we are going to discuss horror movies.
Watch your beer. I'm gonna move.
Yeah,
They don't exist.
Well, I think we should start with like best horror movies we've seen this year. Like,
Can they be like? Does it be like new movies or just movies we've seen this year?
well, have you seen any new movies this year?
Not really. Not so.
Well, I got 2 to
'Cause
start.
I guess I haven't seen that many.
Same.
I've seen new movies, just not really.
Not the
horror.
summer. I haven't seen a lot of things. We haven't really seen things in the summer.
I'll start off with I've seen 3. I think I've seen 3 horror movies.
Let's leave it on the table.
I've seen 3 horror movies in theaters. Late Night with the Devil, which is awesome, really good. I showed it to them last
I
night.
watched it last night.
It was, we could talk about it more. I know you haven't said sit with it, but first, and then I saw The Strangers Chapter 1, which was dog shit, but a lot of fun to go see.
Okay.
It's a terrible, terrible movie.
And then I wanted to talk about Longlegs,
And that was the 3rd movie I've seen.
Nicky Cage.
the last one.
So I loved that movie. I thought it's weird how polarizing that movie was.
I wish that I was like good at makeup so I could be Longlegs for Halloween.
Let me in now.
Let me in.
It could be me standing outside of the Coffee IHOP.
The Arby's.
Arby's, let me in after I've been banned. So where should we? So those are the movies I've seen this year. Anyone else horror movies you've seen this year?
Not horror. I really forgot what movies I've seen this year.
Same. But I doubt I do. Excellent effects doesn't
Lady J,
do
what
horror.
movie did we see this year that was horror?
Didn't you watch Scream recently for the first time lately?
First time.
Well, it's first time all the way through. I knew all the pop culture references and everything, but Scream for like the very first time I sat down and watched it this year.
That's a good one. It's not that scary, honestly.
No, and it's just a dude in a mask and a knife.
Also,
It's a slasher.
I feel like I saw Scary Movie before I saw Scream, so it's
Same.
a little ruined for me.
I still quote, "I'll be right back."
Scary movie is fun. I've seen it like
They
twice in the past year for some reason. Like it's a good comfort movie to watch when you're drunk alone.
They should keep making. I don't know why
Well,
they stopped
Hollywood
making
took it from the
those.
Wayans brothers, so
Yeah, they were a lot worse after the Wayans brothers left. Even the 5th one that came out years later was pretty bad.
yeah. Trying to see
Children. Go.
By children, we mean our cat. One cat that we own. One cat
They
in our
are
house and
attacking the.
They are children now.
attacking the bagel.
Attack of the Baby.
All right.
They're licking the screen.
Tastes like something.
They're licking the microphone.
Their paws will literally like the phones recognize their paws. They will swipe.
It's a horror Codpast went out. It's a haunted Codpast.
I guess we should start with Late Night with the Devil because that's the one that we've all seen.
The only
Well,
horror thing I've seen recently, I've
I
watched
didn't watch
just
it
a
last
lot
night.
of like Supernatural lately. That's like TV horror. Well, at least the first couple seasons. Then it started getting like really like angels and demons.
You know what's true horror?
We're
Law and
rewatching
Order.
Supernatural right now.
Oh, what season are you on?
We're on season 2. We just restarted it in October.
He wants to end at 5.
Huh?
Yeah, of course. There's
He wants to
and-
end at the true ending.
Yeah, no one that watches Supernatural should watch past season 5.
But seasons.
Yeah, but the Scottsdale was Scooby-Doo episode.
I know it's also like
You can watch that one as like a later on special.
But-
so
Or the
get it.
musical episode.
Also like
When does the angel come in?
season 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I
No.
watched up till season 5.
No, like well, the later seasons they're fun. They're like bingeable fun.
I don't know. Season 5 is like
Do you want fun
the
or
natural
entertainment?
ending. Like,
I mean, there's
No, we agree. It is the natural ending. But as
What do you have to
after
say?
some point, after some odd episodes, they definitely jump the shark and they know it. And then it's just like, well, whatever.
I mean, they meet God.
Meet God's sister.
Yeah.
the show starts out with them not really caring about death. So then it's like by the time that they get into the later seasons, they're like,
They've died so many times.
yeah, death means literally nothing. That it's
Hell,
like,
they killed Death.
Yeah, I just got.
yeah,
They killed Death.
It's not even.
They met Cain from the Bible. Chuck is
The
God.
hell?
They met God's sister.
Amara.
They made a deal with the second death after they killed the first one.
I feel like most of what I know about Christianity comes from supernatural.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
It's fair. So Late Night with the Devil. How'd you feel about it?
It was good. It, I mean, it was low budget, but it was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if we're getting into spoilers, the only shot that really didn't look super convincing to me was when the Andy Richter character gets his neck snapped backwards.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's that...
His head turns around and it looks a little janky. It's sort of like, oh, that effect wasn't quite...
For me, it's that, and I don't know if you were watching the screen at that time. You were distracted. I think you might have been distracted by cats, but when Christu throws up, that CGI is a little janky too, but it kind of adds to the charm of the movie in a little bit, because it's supposed to be like reminiscent of the 70s and 80s practical effects body horror movies.
Which they did a really good job making it feel like the 70s, and I liked their little like alternate history 70s with it, like he was trying to best Carson, yeah.
Johnny Carson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps referencing Carson because it's like within the movie he's like the second best late night show host, and he's just trying to be as good as Carson.
Because as he says, they only recognize kings.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like what the Green Goblin says, where the
only fools. This world is drip or drown. Next effects.
The only thing those people want is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. Sooner or later, the people will hate you for it.
XFX, how did you feel about the movie? Because afterwards you said, I'm putting on Hot Wheels because this movie fucked me up.
It's not just the movie fucked me up, it's that we watched 2 horror-themed movies back to back.
Yeah.
We watched The Thing first for our audience at home.
The best thing.
I feel like the only...
Ben Grimm.
Oh, yeah. We just watched behind-the-scenes footage of the dude from The Shield dressed up as The Thing. From the original Fantastic Four movie. Not the original Fantastic Four movies, but the
2000s.
Chris Evans ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again?
I don't know. I feel like there's only like 2 movies that I've ever really like felt like I absolutely needed a palate cleanser after watching a scary movie. It's probably Hereditary and The Walrus.
I haven't seen either of those actually.
Jason something.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Whatever his name is, but
Jason Long?
Yeah, Justin Long.
Justin Long.
Yeah, that movie, I thought it was going to be silly and stupid, and it was stupid, but it was also, like, mentally scarring.
Yeah.
Like, I'll close my eyes and I still see Justin Long with the walrus tusks.
Well, I felt that way after Longlegs.
That's the name of the movie. Tusk.
Like, Tusk. Well, I had felt that way after Longlegs, where I, like, had to go home and sit with it. It was just, like, the movie itself is... I wouldn't describe it as, like, pee yourself scary, but it's definitely, like, you sit and it's the atmosphere. It's like, So you and I are both playing Silent Hill 2 right now, and I think the scariest part about that game is the atmosphere, and it's the same thing with Longlegs, where it's like, I was deeply uncomfortable watching that movie, like, squirming in my seat.
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch it.
What do you say?
Oh, I just remembered the other horror themed movie I saw in 2024 was The Blackening,
which is really good.
Yeah,
you showed me The Blackening, and it was fun.
Because it was like mainly thriller with horror elements, but also like pretty much half a comedy too. It's all based off like a sketch.
Does anyone know what Jordan Peele is working on next?
So The Twilight Zone was a thing.
That was a while ago, though. That was like
I thought that got scrapped.
It did.
They had like 1 season.
I know he's working on something with Hideo Kojima. Some sort of video game or something.
Oh, that'd be dope.
He's also working on something else with someone else. I just can't remember what it is.
The man's working.
He's doing collabs, but like I want him to do a 4th movie. Like
this next movie is called Him.
Him, okay.
It's about me. Because I am him.
Set to come out next year.
Okay.
No, actually, October 20. So 2 years from now.
Right.
October 2026.
What?
Let me see.
The cat loves the orange juice.
Remember the theory that Nope was actually going to be called Help? Because in the movies, his movie backwards would be Help Us Get Out.
Oh, right.
But then it ended up being Nope, so now it's Nope Us Get Out. So there's no connections between his movies at all, I don't think.
Speaking of horror, it feels like a horror comedy. Kendrick Lamar is going to be starring in a film made by the guys who did South Park.
Yeah, Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
And
Really?
basically the plot is he's dating this white girl, and Kendrick Lamar is like he works in a museum.
It's like a comedy?
It's like a horror comedy in a way.
Okay.
Civil War reenactor. Or is it he works? He's like
his little tongue.
a slave reenactor. But then it the situation gets weird because he finds out his white girlfriend's ancestors used to own his ancestors.
Right.
So then
chaos ensues.
Yes.
Hijinks.
I have faith because Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah, they rarely miss.
And Kendrick Lamar's going to be good at this because he's making Drake's Life a horror movie right now.
Dude. Stop licking the glass.
Yeah. Drake should be in a horror movie. I want to see him get murdered on screen.
That was like when we went to go see Bad Boys and DJ Khaled got murdered. I was like, I just want 15 more minutes of him just screaming in agony, pinned against this car while the explodes.
It's funny because that whole movie, they're like trying not to harm innocent civilians and stuff, and then they see DJ Khaled and they're like,
absolutely not.
Let's just murder him
in the most brutal way.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, DJ Khaled, he was gangster, but he also tried to hurt them first.
Yeah.
So then he was like, okay, fine, kill him.
Yeah.
So are we? I know we're gonna. This podcast has gone off the rails. So, are we ready for the last dance tonight? Are you ready for it to end?
What I would ultimately want is Tom Holland to show up, but that's not the way these things work.
No,
Sony doesn't. What's going to be if anything, Tom Hardy shows up in Tom Holland's movie.
Yeah,
Tom Holland is not going to show up in Tom Hardy's movie.
Venom's been out for a couple days now. People would have said it. Would have spoiled if Tom Holland showed up by now.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Does anyone consider Rotten Tomatoes scores as a spoiler?
No.
Or care if I say what it is? It's I forget what exactly, but it's low right now.
Yeah.
So all of their live action movies are low. Every single one, but outside of the main canon Spider-Man movies, have been low.
But that doesn't really mean anything. I think the Let There Be Carnage was reviewed pretty bad.
Yeah.
But we liked it.
We had so much fun with that movie.
Did we like it or did we laugh? Oh,
I had so much fun.
36% of Rotten Tomatoes.
It's gone down.
Also, it's shorter than The Thing.
Yeah.
It's only an hour 49.
Oh.
That's a quick movie.
We're gonna come out of this movie. It's still gonna be daylight, which is not going to see a movie in October. It seems pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
Pretty shocking.
It's gonna be out before 5:30.
Any other movies you want to see?
Well, no, because we gotta make dinner.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be home before 6.
We gotta get drunk.
We should talk about The Thing.
Okay.
So I've never seen it before, but I kind of knew the beats and what the movie is. It's live action Among Us. I can't believe they ripped off that video game. No, I'm kidding. I really enjoyed it. What shocked me, honestly, was, because I've seen stills of it, but the body horror, I love body horror, especially practical effects body horror. So good.
Yeah,
which is actually, I think I talked about that when the original Venom came out. These movies could be their rated R, frightening body horror superhero movies, and they've never really gone that direction.
And also, even though I've seen the movie, this is my third time seeing it last night, you still really don't know who's is who.
Yeah.
Because it really keeps you guessing every single... I mean, of course, if you saw, if you watch it multiple times, you know who's who, but you still... It's my third time seeing it. You forget who's who, and it makes you play in the paranoia of people.
Yeah, so I knew all about this movie, and I'd heard theories about it, and it's this guy's, actually the Thing, whatever. But it's I don't know, I feel like most of the theories that I heard are that they kill the Thing and that's it. They succeed in the end. But watching it, I was surprised. It's really not that cut and dry as people make it seem.
Even the director say, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does seem like it's well, actually, Kurt Russell could have been the Thing. We don't really know.
Yeah.
What are some of his John Carpenter's other horror movies? Because there's Halloween, which I love. The original Halloween's really good. There's The Thing. He did Halloween 2, but he didn't really like Halloween 2 all that much.
Didn't he do The Fly?
He did The Fly?
Or is that Cronenberg?
So,
That's Cronenberg.
That's Cronenberg. He did The Fog. He did Vampires. Halloween 2. I'm assuming his horror movie. Christine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Prince of Darkness. Assault on Precinct 13. That's not really a horror film. That's more like it's like a bottle / trap location film. Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends.
Oh, he didn't direct those, but he was the producer on those.
Okay, I just looked up his movies.
Because the new Halloween trilogy, he was the fucking executive producer on, and he did the music for it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is a good he was excited for the director of Your Highness and fucking what's the Danny McBride to do a 40 years later sequel to his direct sequel to the first one, which is interesting.
Right.
But he also did They Live.
Oh, that's right.
He did 38 movies.
That's impressive.
Prolific.
Some of them are B movies. He started in 1979. He did 1969. Gorgo versus Godzilla.
Gotta get a start somewhere.
But yeah, his big films are Halloween, They Live, The Thing, Escape from New York, Prince of Darkness, Big Trouble in China. Also,
Escape from New York.
Which horror villain has the best theme?
I think it's Michael Myers. It's either him or maybe Jason Voorhees with the.
What about Freddy Krueger? Nightmare on my street.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
That's
Three,
creepy.
4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix.
Who else did the...
Okay, while we're talking about Friday the 13th, I watched the remake Friday the 2009 one. That movie is so bad. There's one thing that I like. Is that the main actress is in the middle of they're in the middle of a horror situation, like the killer's out there. She catches her boyfriend cheating and she doesn't give a fuck. Which is I feel like in other movies you would be like, the main girl would be like, I can't believe you cheated on me, blah, blah, blah. Right now she's like, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
We can deal with this later. There's a man outside with a hockey mask and a machete. And then, what's his face from Supernatural's really good in it too.
Jared Padalecki?
He's pretty good in it. I enjoyed his character. Thought he did a good job.
Sammy.
What's so... Yeah.
My favorite Jason movie is Jason in Space, Jason X.
I've never seen that, but I want to.
It's just so it was that's like the 10th Jason movie at that time. You know, fuck it. In space.
What about Jason 2, Lost in New York?
Well, there is Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And there's also
Jason's Sex in the City.
and okay,
Should be a home
okay.
Alone Jason
I have
crossover.
a genuine question. Which horror movie icons as villain would be the easiest to escape from?
Okay.
Yeah, Ghostface, because it's usually just someone in a mask.
I say Michael Myers. Just go to an airport.
Yeah.
Because he has to go through TSA.
Well, it's that's why I almost want to say
Kill TSA.
the It Follows monster or something.
Just don't have sex.
But then
Or have a lot of sex.
True. Or
It might get to eventually, but
Bless you.
what about
Buy
Chucky?
yourself time.
Chucky be the easiest one to just hide your knives.
kick the little thatch.
Just hide your knives, pretty much.
See, I would say Ghostface, because
It's a dude with
so
a
the
knife.
other a lot of the other slasher villains eventually kind of take on almost a supernatural thing, Jason Voorhees. I think he started kind of supernatural though.
Yeah.
And Freddy Krueger supernatural.
Michael Myers
became
supernatural.
kind of as the movies went on, he kind of went from
6'8" slasher.
Yeah, just a big dude that Jamie Lee Curtis can get away from. To eventually, it's well, how does he keep living? Because he's just he cannot.
Busta Rhymes kick his fucking ass.
Yeah,
he survived, and then
He's been through a lot of abuse.
yeah, the Xenomorph
Well,
kind of became campy after a while.
So all of those like I feel like almost all the horror movies, it all comes down to it's a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why The Thing stands out is because it's
a living organism.
It's a thing.
That can
like all the other kind of classic horror villains. It's like, you know, the Terminator, the Xenomorph, the Predator, like the Jason Voorhees, like all of them. It's just a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
You know who was originally supposed to be the Predator? Jean-Claude Van Damme. Supposed to be like one of his first roles.
Huh.
Then he couldn't, right?
He was like too short or something.
Something like that.
What was it?
It was something like that.
Is
I read
the
it
Predator a horror movie guy, or is
Yeah.
or is it like an action?
Well,
an action
I
horror.
consider Predator
You call it
It's-
filler.
horror action.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider it.
But it's like it's the same with all of those where like the first Alien is a horror movie, the
Then
second
Aliens
Aliens is an action movie.
It's basically become a video game at this
the,
point.
the
We just have
first
countless
the first
back-
Terminator is
It's a horror
like a
film.
horror movie, but the second Terminator is an action movie.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, Terminator, I kind of consider a horror movie.
I mean, it's
is
close
the first
to happening.
Is the first Jurassic Park a horror movie?
Yeah, the book
Or was this kind of more of a
definitely is.
thriller?
The book is.
There are super.
Yeah, I've heard fucked up things about the book.
Oh,
I started reading it.
There are
and then I
definitely
didn't finish
horror
it.
elements built into it for
But
sure.
it's more of like a fantasy kids movie. It's more almost like fantasy
I think
kids.
that's just the Spielberg touch.
Yeah.
Spielberg
Yeah.
just makes everything seem more childish and like
Well, Jaws?
like wow.
Well, Jaws wasn't very childish.
No,
Maybe
but
Jaws
like,
is that horror icon that you can kind of like
not
get away with, just
childish,
stay out of the
but, like,
water.
Yeah.
Spielberg is so good at
Go to a
like,
river.
filming that childlike wonder.
Oh, okay, I
sort
gotta see
of,
what you mean,
Like,
Yeah, because even like I think people, even though Poltergeist is supposed to be really terrifying, I think people still consider it like, you know, kind of like an ease your kids into horror movie. Or maybe I'm totally wrong, and it could be
well,
just
I
traumatizing.
think it's really interesting how like there's lots of like for as an example like the differences between like Matilda and Carrie
It's
is
not
like
that many.
not
Yeah.
very big. It's just that like one is more overtly horror.
In the
and
book-
one is just like she's like, well, I have these powers.
Oh, yeah, no. When Jacqueline showed you Matilda first, I was like, when did shit turn to X-Men?
when she get the blood dumped on her.
No, apparently in the book, the reason why they dumped pig's blood on her is because she was an overweight kid. That's why they dumped pig's blood on her.
Fast.
Also, one, can I rant about Stephen King for a second?
Yeah.
Yes,
Stephen King, he cannot write, he has to make every fucking bully a murderer.
Yeah,
Right.
you can't write a bully.
And his endings kind of suck.
Yeah,
And he doesn't know how to write black people.
yeah.
That's three.
Yeah.
I love Stephen King, horror icon. Christine,
Right.
Maximum Overdrive, The Mist.
Oh, I was gonna
It.
say this last night.
Cujo.
I was gonna say this earlier.
Cocaine.
We're listing.
I was gonna say
Stephen King.
real fast. I was gonna say this earlier when we were at brunch. We were talking about vampire movies. The New Salem's Lot. It's interesting. It starts off kind of boring, and then it gets stupid, and then the ending I really liked.
Okay, so it's like, it's kind of like, man.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say the ending was good. It's different from the book
It's just
too.
exciting.
So they just changed it. It's exciting, exactly. Like it's entertaining to watch.
It's
Wait,
just-
which one was the book's name? It was Salem's Lot was the book?
Yeah,
Okay, so the movie I saw in high school was Jerusalem's Lot then.
I think that's a different thing altogether.
No,
well,
it's not.
No,
The
well,
Stephen King
they're
Bible?
all
It's
called.
based off of it kind of changed.
Well, they're all called like Salem's Lot, but so the name of the town is Jerusalem's Lot, and they kind of shorten it to Salem's Lot.
Oh, but
Oh, I
just Stephen King, man. Can you write a bully that's not a murderer? That's not.
No, I can't.
We already been through
Has he
this.
stuck the land? He's stuck the landing in a couple of things, but majority.
Are we talking movies or if we're
What's-
talking books? The Outsider has a satisfying ending.
The
I
Outsider,
feel.
is that the one to stay Golden Pony Boy?
No,
Oh.
well, that is The Outsiders, but The Outsider is a different thing.
Okay, that's
The It book, the It in the book
Under the Dome.
is
Oh, I
honestly
forget that's him.
yeah.
is honestly pretty good. It's a pretty decent ending. It's just the movie. The movies can't do that ending because it's really ethereal and like.
Yeah, it's
Like, it's really hard. You can't really translate it to film, and I think that's why the ending of it, Chapter 2, is pretty bad.
Also, the best adaptation of Under the Dome is the Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
yeah, it is actually because like it also like you find a lot of white writers don't know how to write black people because when they don't know how to write
Right.
black people. And also, like, it's
It's
just like...
gotten better, but it's
You're
not
talking
better.
to the white writer of Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, but we were there.
We were your friends.
I wrote most of that movie.
But
I
we
wrote
were there
90% of that
with
movie.
you.
Cocaine fueled stupid.
You were there, but
There was no contract that didn't allow us to either walk off set or change the lines in your movie.
Don't let him turn on your back. He's trying to get you in a naked show.
so
cats are fighting.
So since this is gonna be a kind of a shorter cod pass because we gotta go see The Last Dance.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Jordan Bulls.
ask. I wanted to ask, what's the scariest horror movie you've ever seen? And I'm just gonna say mine. And I'll tell you guys about this movie because I recommend it. It's watching these two black cats fight. It's
Always
called.
black.
I think the scariest movie
Black
I've
and
ever
White
seen.
to watch.
Because I wasn't, because I didn't know what it was like going into it. It's called Hell House LLC. It's a
Found footage?
found footage documentary about this group that it goes with them they document them setting up a haunted house attraction, and so they buy this old abandoned hotel, and then they go in and they go to the basement and they find like pentagrams and Bibles and stuff on the ground. Instead of being like fuck that, right? They're like, this is perfect for a haunted house. And shit just goes off the rails from there, and it's genuinely like really good, effective jump scares, really good, effective horror. It's kind of different than found footage.
Was that the one you showed me where they like?
No,
they,
that
like,
was
go out the exit and it's like more hallway.
no, that was Graveyard Encounters,
Ah.
which was also a good one.
What? The movie?
So the movie that scared you the most.
It's a stupid movie. But Paranormal Activity 3? But remember when you could rent movies from like Safeway or
Yeah.
Fred Meyer? We rented that when I was like 12.
Whoa, there
Yeah.
was no Wii. You rented
I
that.
rented that when I was 12.
The first
And
Paranormal
watched by
Activity,
yourself.
the scene where she's laying in bed and she's going, I think we'll be okay now. And then she does the demon voice, I think we'll be okay now. That was fucking terrifying.
It was stupid. And like a scene from not action movie scared me. It was a scene in Independence Day where they
Oh, yeah.
speak through the tubes in
Yeah.
the Area 51.
That was a really
scene
good jump
was
scare.
scary.
That was a really
And
effective
then when
jump
they
scare.
operate like certain scenes, like Spider-Man 2, Sam
I was
Raimi.
about to bring up Spider-Man because being a child and watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, not understanding that Sam Raimi
That's good.
was a horror director,
And not even just, like-
and just being scared shitless as a child, like why is Spider-Man so scary?
And
the thing is,
also
Sam
the
Raimi wasn't
fingernails
just-
dragging along the ground.
Oh,
yeah, with
yeah.
Doc Ock.
Here's the thing,
horror-
Sam Raimi wasn't just a horror director, he was a prolific horror director, like
Yeah.
a icon horror director who's like, I'm gonna make Spider-Man.
I'm gonna make it scary.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And there are
gosh,
scary
gosh,
moments
man.
in the first one too. I think in the
Yeah.
third one, probably like the Green Goblin's like crying in the fire, and
Yeah,
he's like, I'll save you, and he
that's
turns
a
around
big
and goes,
jump scare.
And Godspeed, Spider-Man. Godspeed, Spider-Man. hey, be easy. Can you turn off the speaker when you come back?
Turn it off?
Yeah, there's a power button on the far left front.
Oh, it's V, by the way.
Oh, V. Okay, yeah, like, Get Out, I loved it when I saw it. It didn't really scare me, because I was just rooting for
like date white women.
True. Back on the front. The power button.
yeah.
There you go. Just
Hold it.
Just hold it. Yeah, hold it. There you go. And Get Out didn't really scare.
I said it's kill mode.
Yeah,
It didn't scare
I
me.
do think Us was
Against
scarier
Freddy.
than Get Out.
Nope was scarier than Get Out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's some really terrifying.
Because it's just like, because you saw, spoiler, you saw the alien spaceship eat the people and digest it.
I feel like
Yeah.
the sound design in Nope was
Yeah.
more frightening.
I personally think, if I had to rank his 3 movies, it'd be Get Out, Nope, and Us.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen the other 2 movies more. I've seen Nope twice. I've seen Get Out like 5 times. I haven't seen Us since we saw in theaters.
Yeah, yeah, I would, yeah, I might agree with your thing. Although the chimp scene in Nope is so
Yeah.
scary because that
That
so
could happen.
easily could happen.
That's really scary.
And I thought the way they
It
did
has
it in the
happened.
trailer was so good. I like how they faked us out in the trailer by like
Thank you.
showing the monkey's hand, but you know it's an alien movie, so you're like you don't think that's a monkey's hand. You think it's an alien hand reaching out to a child.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the way that movie references its own lore, where like, because I think Steven Yeun is like, he's like, oh, they made an SNL sketch about it,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like, like that's how, I don't know, like he's
Let them
not
fight.
gonna explain to the people like exactly what went down when he was or when his co-stars were attacked by a monkey. But he will be like, oh, I'll tell you about this SNL sketch.
Yeah. XNFX, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Or it can be a scene from other movies. Scary scene from other, like not really a horror movie.
Obi.
Oh. Yeah.
Stop.
Windowsill. There you go, boy.
Took my chain.
You have a gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't watch much horror. I just try to stay away from the genre.
Yeah.
I'd say The Thing is probably number one still, because just how gruesome and body horror, and also because of the very much practical effects of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that one. I still have to finish the rest of Aliens. I only seen like half.
Oh, Alien?
Alien.
It wasn't really...
Alien or Aliens?
The scary one.
It wasn't really horrifying. It was just like... I think the video game was more scary than the movie.
Oh, I was gonna mention this earlier.
Alien Isolation is scarier than the movie.
I'm excited for the Jurassic Park game that's supposed to be like Alien Isolation.
Oh.
Where it's all like hiding from dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think horror video games are on a different level than horror movies.
Because you're
doing it.
It's mostly from first person.
Yeah. Well, I can do most horror movies, but I remember I got a horror... Oh, that's right. My brother had VR goggles.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, we'll play, I just found a VR game that we could play, and it was Five Nights at Freddy's. And I played, one level of Five Nights at Freddy's in VR and noped the fuck out. I was like, I am never doing that again. That was so terrifying. Because it was in VR, so it was like...
That's why I never want to play any of the Resident Evil games, because,
Yeah.
Resident Evil games are horror games, but, you have a gun, but you got 8 bullets.
Yeah.
Well, you should play Resident Evil 4 because that's just a straight up action game.
Okay.
And you play a special agent and you get a lot of weapons, a lot of guns. That's a good one.
I'll play the remake.
Still pretty scary, but
I hate...
You should play The Last of Us.
Last of Us is good too.
I would again wanted to play those games. Those Resident Evil 4 and Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2.
Because Last of Us isn't... It's like
Action.
zombie. It's zombie, but it's not as
the people
scary.
are more terrifying than the zombies.
Yeah,
and then because I hate video games where it's scary, but you got 8 bullets. Give me 100 bullets and let me go out fighting.
So
by rolling and dodging.
So most in that
Red
case,
barrels.
most of the Resident Evil games are going to be out except 4, 8, 5.
Which one's the Village? The one with the hot ass 6'8".
That's 8, and so Resident Evil goes through phases of being survival horror and then switching to action. So they did for the first 3 games are survival horror, and then 4, 5, and 6 go into action. And then with 7, they completely changed it around, gave it brand new character, new location.
Oh, that's the swamp thing.
Yeah, swamp. That one. And I think that's the scariest game I've ever played.
Walter White in the swamp.
And now Silent Hill is basically copying Resident Evil's homework
with the remakes and
Pretty
stuff.
much, because Resident Evil, they really we came back into the zeitgeist because of the remakes of Resident Evil 1
and the movies.
2.
Right.
Yeah, and two is up there. The Resident Evil 2 remake is up there with my scariest video games I've ever played in my life. It is 2. You get chased around by this character named Mr. X.
Oh yeah, Mr. Trench Coat hat.
Yeah, Trench Coat X gonna give it to you, but he's legitimately terrifying.
I love the mods people did with that. They made a Thomas the Tank Engine.
He chases you around and then
the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy.
And they do this really cool thing where you think this one area is safe throughout the whole game, and then once Mr. X is introduced, he realizes he can get in there and it's not safe.
This is a deep cut, but I remember when I played Detroit Become Human, that video game. There's a horror section of it where you play as this female android. It's a game about Android Uprising. You play as a female android who is stuck in this dude's basement, and you got free yourself to get out, then you gotta escape his house, move around the house, making choices.
You've been in my basement with my Android.
That was it's one of the scariest 20 minutes of games because it was
which reminds me of I remember playing the Uncharted games where it's they're mostly just action adventure games, but then there'll be one horror level for some reason.
The first one it was Yeti. The second one was Yetis.
Yeah. I just remember the first one had these weird zombie things.
Yeah.
And you're in it's a World War
II sub.
That was
a Nazi sub.
Yeah, so it's already a creepy environment,
And then Resident Evil 4.
just not expecting it to be so scary.
Resident
all of
Evil
a sudden.
4.
Don't get me wrong, Resident Evil 4 remake is scary, but it is.
Sorry, I was
It is actiony.
Uncharted 4. I was saying Uncharted 4. That doesn't really have a lot of like. It doesn't have like horror level.
Well, it's because I feel like maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like the first 3 Uncharteds have like kind of some overt supernatural like things happen, and then the 4th one they're like trying to be more grounded again.
Yeah, the 4th one is just an island with dead pirates.
Yeah. Or
So-
there was some sort of like virus on the island, I think, but it was like not a supernatural.
I
virus.
recently replayed like 6-7 months ago. It wasn't a virus. It's just the pirates got off. It was like a pirate sanctuary, like a pirate island.
Fight.
And then it's like
they all killed each other.
they all got greedy.
Yeah.
Smack.
Oh my god.
Oh, they've been
So,
like
I'm
a
gonna
full
want you to
unboxing
guess
match happening
what
behind
game. I want you to guess what game has a surprising horror level.
Is it like a cute and cuddly game?
I'll give you a hint. I put 300 hours into this game. It's I consider it my favorite video game of all time.
The Last of Us.
No. What game do I talk about a lot?
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. In the DLC, they have a level that's basically Alien Isolation, where a evil AI is taking over like this construction robot and is chasing you around, and it is it is actually really scary. Like it was one of those when you play one of those tense points of game, you're just like tensed up and like just like breathing hard. It was like that you don't know what's gonna happen around the next corner. It was that. It was shockingly good, and I kind of want CD Projekt Red to make a horror game now.
Yeah.
Well, for emoting or describing feelings like that, then that can also throw in the hat. The first Gears of War game, especially when you have to fight the
Aren't they like bats or something?
that's the krill. That's not what I was going for though.
That's I feel like that's the level I most remember, where it's like you can't go into the shadows. You have to like
Stay in the light.
Yeah, you have to stay in the light.
But in that one, at least the main mission where you fight them, you are in the Centaur tank.
That's right.
You just gotta stay in the light in that thing. No, I was talking about the Berserker. Because like you get trapped in that. Like it starts off with a cutscene. You and the squad get trapped in the building, and then you just hear like just some random gear. It's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll take lead." Runs around the corner, runs to the Berserker, fucking tears him apart limb from limb. Like, and you just see that all happening on the shadow on the wall on the corner.
Right.
And then, in like a horde mode fashion, you could also say Space Marines too. Because Tyranids, like, they will swarm you like the krill. Like, if you don't fight or kill enough of them at a time, they will swarm the shit out of you. And there's a level where you're in an underground laboratory that's all blacked out, and you have to fight something that's just like the krill from Gears of War. We have to use a flamethrower to keep them back off of you and your squad and to move through.
Yeah, the thing that I remember loving about about Gears of War was that you could do like split screen campaign.
Yes.
And I just feel like games don't let you do that anymore.
No, they don't.
But it was like, I remember playing through the campaign with friends in Gears of War, and it's like, that's what I wanted. Like, you don't just want to play the campaign by yourself. You want a buddy.
Yeah, because you actually are there with your friend playing together in the same space. You don't have to, my internet's this quality, my internet's this quality, let's hop on a game together.
Totally.
But I will say this, I'm kind of excited to see where they go with the new Gears of War game that's coming out. Because that's supposed to be like a prequel. Basically, like right when E-Day happened, Emergence Day, that's the setting of this new game.
Right.
So you still play as Marcus and Dom.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
You, at least for you, you should check out or watch. I watched. It was like an hour-long video of the lore of which be prequel to E-Day all the way to the end of the Gears series, as much as we know.
Right.
And it was a lot. Like, because it combines every different game, whether the mobile games, the online games, the little whatever third-party games, all the lore is connected, And like when you hear it laid out in a timeline, it's like Jesus. Some of the stuff could have been prevented, and it's really well like built out.
Right.
Awesome sauce. What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Probably Hereditary. Because it was like everyone told me it was scary, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I tried to watch it by myself in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got like halfway through it, and I was like, why did I think I could do this? So it was like one of the few movies that I was like, I have to turn this off because I'm getting too scared. And I have to finish this tomorrow in the daytime.
Yeah.
Because it was...
I had that watching the original Strangers, the 2008 one.
Yeah.
It was like, I was watching by myself on a laptop in a dark room, and it was
exactly
scary.
Yeah, no.
And then Dennis from It's Always Sunny gets murdered at one point.
I don't know. I was told it was scary, but I still underestimated it. And then it was like... I had to turn it off.
Jesus, no.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It's... Even though I'm not much of a horror fan, I have seen some good ones thanks to being with you guys. Because Thing, Alien, the first Terminator is basically damn near horror.
Yeah.
A lot of Scream. And then me being on the internet, I'm aware of like a lot of the other shit that happens, at least in other horror movies.
You
I just
have a
haven't seen it.
cat that might try and jump on you.
Man, if we want to talk about internet horror, there are some good ARGs out there right now, and analog horrors that are doing really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
I'm finally watching for the first time Marble Hornets, because a podcast I listen to will like do kind of like watch-alongs, so I'm like watching along with them, and that was actually really good. That came out a week after the Slenderman lore was introduced.
Huh.
And so, like, the first episode dropped a week after that. And then, but they, like, kind of just took the idea and built their own lore around it. And it's really well done. It makes me want to, like, go out and film something. Like, we can easily make a horror short, or, like, a really simple found footage horror movie together.
I do want to film something.
Like, No Through Road is also another good... I think I showed you No Through Road. It's the one where it was, like, a... that people, like, they're so stuck on a time loop. On that those British lads are stuck on a time loop, and then they get attacked by the guy in the mask, and then the guy they do something I told you about this before, but they do something I'd never seen in any kind of horror movie where the killer takes the camera and uses it to murder the final guy, and you see like the blood and the cracking of the glass and all that.
Right.
It was really good.
Yeah, I remember like. I guess it would have been around the time Cloverfield came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also like that. Well, because Blair Witch Project was years before, but in that era, Paranormal Activity was real popular.
Mm-hmm. There's actually...
Like, I do love the idea of doing a found footage horror, but it's like... It's been done so much.
You gotta do something new and interesting with it.
Yeah, for sure.
A good found footage horror movie that I watched on Tubi recently was Wreck. It's in Spain, so it's all in Spanish, but you watch it with subtitles. But it's really good. It's about a zombie. It's so they remade it in America, and I heard the remake's really bad, and they called it Quarantine. And the original Wreck is really good. It's a really good zombie horror movie.
I feel like the last found footage horror movie that I saw that was good was probably Spree.
Oh, yeah, Spree. I like Spree.
Spree was good. But yeah, most of the time, I feel like if someone does a found footage, it's kind of... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. It's like...
It's been done.
Yeah, it's just... redundant.
Yeah, they're not, unless you find something, a new angle or a new interesting way of doing it.
Yeah,
like the VHS movies find new ways of doing it too, where they're not analog, anthology horror movies.
Right.
Right. Well, we should probably start getting ready to go see The Last Dance. It starts in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should.
So so we lost. So I'll just say goodbye for him. We'll say goodbye for DT and Lady J and all. This has been V.
X and effects.
Awesome sauce.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Deuces.
Bye.